you're done.
Only until now did I finally pull the trigger to play my first ever Souls-like. Was it a good decision? That's what I'm here to find out. This is Wuchang Fallen Feathers. Don't go away. So yes, my very first Souls-like. A genre I've avoided. For reasons being, to me, well, they're just hack and slash games with difficulty on max. That was always the thing I saw about Souls-likes. They're hard. Boss fights, you have to grind until you can finally find a way to cheese them. Spending 30, 40, 50 minutes, even an hour, even longer on boss fights, that's just... what's the point? And as I'm playing through Wuchang Fallen Feathers, what I see on Reddit is people quitting the game and proclaiming that they need to buff your character, they make the game easier, it is too difficult. From this guy here, he says it's too difficult, and he's platinumed Elden Ring and Dark Souls and all these other games. Hell, even the devs are coming out with an update to make getting up from getting knocked back easier, and your heal animation will be faster. I picked the worst game to play my first Souls-like. Actually, I found this game pretty damn easy.
Why we're well there? Get the fuck out of my way. I'm doing something. Oh my god, what? Dude, I am literally popping off.
First try boss fight, are you kidding me?
I might actually just one-shot this boss. Boom!
I'm not kidding you. I have no idea why, but I found this game pretty damn easy. Like, arguably, it's still probably one of the harder games I've played, but I probably didn't spend longer than 30 minutes on any boss fight at all. Max tries on some of the infamous bosses, maybe 7 or 8. If you've played other Souls-like and you've played this one, please let me know if I'm delusional or like what is happening. Because the whole reason I avoided Souls-like was because they're just too difficult. You're just going to grind bosses, and I played my first Souls-like that is apparently too hard. The devs have to buff it. And it was easy. I'm just really glad I played this game because I had an absurd amount of fun with this game. I have all my notes here. Let's get into it. I got 3 major notes for gameplay.
That fight was so fun. He lives too. Are you kidding me?
The 3 main things that this game does really well for gameplay is essentially 3 core pillars that a game needs to be good, which means that the core of Wuchang Fallen Feathers is extremely tight. These 3 core green flags, in my opinion: weapons, skill tree, and world exploration. First point, weapons. There are 5 main weapon classes to choose from. Spears offer the longest range capable of melee weapons. Dual swords offer the tightest up one-on-one you can have. Fast agility, clashing attacks. One-handed swords, honestly, weak. But you're not using the one-hand sword class for the one-hand sword. You're using it because it's the one-hand sword / magic build. You have axes, which is basically the blunt force trauma brute force item. And you have the long swords, looked at as the most balanced and basic of classes. I don't have a lot of footage of weapons, honestly, because I was a longsword loyalist with the spear on the side was my secondary weapon. Why did I use longsword? Well, the best thing about these classes is that every build is viable to beat this game. And you will often, if needed be, if you're struggling, you can swap in between builds at will. I've been keeping up with the Reddit page for Wuchang Fallen Feathers, as I did get this game on day release, and it's nice to see all the conversations going on about the game that you're playing through. And for every person that got stuck in a boss, there was always people responding with their builds. And it was super satisfying to see everyone responding with different builds. Axe class carried me, dual swords plus leech carried me, magic with one-hand sword carried me, longsword parry carried me. As for me, I was a longsword loyalist. That's why I don't have a lot of clips here. It's going to be mostly all longsword with some spear footage thrown in because spear is my backup weapon. But longsword is what I really honed into to master, and it's mostly because of the parry. You can block with the axe, but you can block with the longsword and parry with the longsword. You can only parry other enemies who have swords. Like parrying a giant tiger trying to crush you will not work at all. It is not viable. But the parrying is so crisp in this game.
That was a good parry.
Now, you unlock the parry system through the skill tree for the longsword. And this is the second main green flag core element to this game is the skill tree. Undoubtedly one of the best skill trees I've ever seen. The surefire way to tell if a skill tree is good or not is while you're playing through, how does it feel to unlock stuff? Because a lot of the times, the choices were so good on where I could go, what I should put my skill points into. I was so hesitated to choose. And that to me is a huge sign of a good skill tree. Because to me, a bad skill tree is, I've played games where I've banked skill points because there's no point in unlocking anything else because it's completely useless. Everything in Wuchang Fallen Feathers is 100% useful.
Dude, this one may be like one of my favorite skill trees of all time. Like, I don't know what to pick, and that's a good thing.
And the funniest part about me hesitating on what to unlock is you can respec your skill tree at whim. There is zero penalty. It is a completely amazing quality of life thing. Now for the main core pillar element of this game, exploration. Absolutely fantastic. Traveling from shrine to shrine, checkpoint to checkpoint, cautiously running through these levels is some of the most fun times I've ever had in gaming. I've never really played a game where exploring is edge of your seat. Your eyes are going to be laser focused, your ears are going to be perked up, you're going to be constantly paying attention to everything in this game. Checking around corners, making sure you can't get bank shot by an enemy or there's strategically placed enemies ready to shoot you off the cliffside. Because yes, general walking around basic ass enemies will destroy you if you are not smart about combat. Just because there's an item left out in the open doesn't mean you need to run there and grab it. Why did the devs put an item out in the open? It's probably a trap. Why is there a guy standing at the edge of the spot when with his back turned to you? You might get baited there. I didn't go at a walking, creepy, crawly pace, but running around levels with your trust in an absolutely shaky state was very fun. Because you know, if you die, you go back to the last shrine, so the stakes are pretty high. But if you are decently patient and are smart about exploring, the game makes you feel smart for playing smart, if that makes sense. Because there are tons of traps. Boulders will literally just roll down the hill at you. There are random like logs that will fly across. Strategically placed enemies that will throw you off the cliff. Strategically thinking out not combat scenarios specifically, but the environment that you're in and how to approach combat is like the game makes you feel smart. That's all I can say.
Hold on! My trappy sense is tingling, just as I thought. This place is booby-trapped out the wazoo. How do we know where to look? Easy, Scoob. The traps themselves will lead us right to it.
There's a couple things in this game that really don't let it hit like an ultimate 10 out of 10, 9.5 or higher kind of score because of one major thing here. Story and characters, whatever. Is this normal for Souls-likes? Like, are Souls-likes generally like, for people who've played them, let me know. Like, are they just usually like not that impactful for the story? Wuchang is a good protagonist, but it's hard to tell because she's a silent protagonist, and you don't know a huge amount about her. And then all the side characters, I really won't remember any of them. Honestly, they're more memorable for combat scenarios. Like guys like the White-Robed Elder, his questline I did through to the end. And the only thing I remember about him is that he was really fun to call in as an ally during combat, which you can do in this game. If you complete quest lines, you'll be able to call those allies in into boss fights. Sick addition.
Oh, White Robe, help me! Elder, what are you looking at? He's trying. She's looking, she's got iframes. This is bullshit.
And the story as a whole, I won't spoil anything, but all I can really say is there's a feathering disease going around and people are getting infected and it kind of turns them into zombies. It's not really zombies, but in my opinion, they act like zombies. And the longer you play, the worse and worse this disease gets. And there's some stuff towards the end that can be thought about, but honestly, I think it's one of those games where it's like going for not really telling you the whole story and letting you piece it together, which has been done before really beautifully in like Nier Automata, but here it's just like general consensus, if you're coming for Wuchang Fallen Feathers, play for the gameplay. You won't care about these characters or story.
How is there no What the fuck was that? Who's this? Get on the fucking ground, dude. I fucking baby walked out there and I still got fucking blindsided by this guy.
Presentation for Wuchang Fallen Feathers. Couple hiccups, but for the most part, impressive. I gotta say this right away. The sound effects and the visual blood splatter for broken enemies, like, that is addicting. Never got old, ever. All the time, just cranking out dudes. The sound, the hit, the weight, the feel, 10 out of 10.
Thank God. Get this fucking guy out of the game. Get out the building, man! Oh, you're done. See your prayers.
Not only is the blueprint for levels really well done, but the way that they're aesthetically made to look, peak. No level felt the same as the last. It's good enough that just from the clips I'm showing you here, you can tell each level from another. The look of these open-ish areas are honestly just awe-inspiring. The UI in-game is absolutely clean. I really love it. The main menu is clean again, like it's a simple main menu, but it's memorable. Outfits and costumes here are fantastic for two reasons. They show up in cutscenes, that's always a plus, and they're transmoggable. If you like a specific look of an outfit, you can have that on any armor you want. If there's an armor that looks like it has really good slash damage resistance, right, and you're up against a slash damage boss, well, you can equip it and then transmog it through the menu to make it look like your favorite one. You still keep all the stats, but you just make it look something else.
Worst helmet ever.
That is like a quality of life thing that I think should be like in every game.
Oh, shit.
And we do got to talk about this. Goon bait was a con in a review I saw. And here's the thing. I'm not even going to sit here and tell you, oh, Wuchang being a baddie has no effect on the game. That's like probably why the reason I picked up my first Souls game. I would be lying to everyone here if I said that I don't care that there's a hot MC. As a guy, obviously it's good. But the other thing is, it's lore accurate. Like, she's running around all the time doing athletic moves with weapons. Like, what do you guys want? All of that together for presentation makes this game hella satisfying. When Wuchang Fallen Feathers released, the game got bad review scores. 1, the game was too hard. 2, performance issues. I played on base PS5, prioritize frames. I understand this was way worse on PC and it took a couple days to get some patches in and it's still not 100%. But from my experience on PS5, probably the first time ever I can say that having a PS5 Pro would have benefited me here. The reason being is I played on prioritize frames, right? It was the only one that locked it into 60 FPS. And I did notice in a couple areas how horrendous the resolution was. Playing at the rebel camp, or even when there's a lot of like light particles on screen and there's like a lot of like fire sparks and stuff, like this boss here is like, it's at times when you're walking through this, it kind of hurts your eyes. Random instances of like Wuchang's hair just looking extremely fuzzy. This is the first time I've ever thought to myself, man, it would have been good to have a PS5 Pro. But other than that, like, I would say 90% of my game time, I noticed no issues. 10% of the time, definite like missing textures, blurry textures, stuff like that. I had no game crashes, I didn't freeze, I didn't drop frames. It was just resolution wise. And you know what else wasn't it? The music. Yeah, I really want to give this game like a really high presentation score, but audibly, like, I don't think Wuchang utilized the Chinese Ming Dynasty era very well. There are like 2 or 3 instances in the game where I thought to myself, actually, like, wow, this is good music.
It's good music around here.
But for the majority of the time, you are listening to very basic ambient tracks that aren't bad. Like, there's no bad soundtracks in this game. It'd be worse if there was no soundtracks, but it's just music and soundtracks that I would call pretty average. When I beat Wuchang Fallen Feathers, I was genuinely sad because I realized that I just played it for the last time. Like, the next day, I'm not booting up Wuchang to creep around and explore the open world and beat some boss fights with the sick, addicting combat. Yes, I get into New Game Plus, I know, but I've got so many games on my backlog. But that really is a sure tell sign that it was a good game. And I have notes here with stuff that I haven't even mentioned yet, such as items. Items in this game. Fantastic. Some games have items where you use maybe 10-20% of them and the rest are just like stacked, like you never even touch them. I used almost every single item in this game. And the game presents itself in ways that you need to use these items. Like, you have despair buildup, you have corruption buildup, you get poisoned, you're on fire, you get frozen. Like, you need all of these alleviators in your item menu. You have healing items because you only refill your mana vases at shrines. Well, you don't get to a shrine, you're out of heals, you gotta rely on your stock backup. Docking strong items to use on bosses, not on the first or second attempt, because you'd like to get in there, get a taste for the boss, hopefully you may not one-shot it. And then when you feel confident, use some of those strong items you've stacked up to just fucking rail that thing. And there's a huge quality of life aspect here. Say you collect an item that you're at the max of. You can only carry 5 of these items. Well, if you collect one, it automatically deposits in the shrine in your chest so you can grab it later. And when you go back to the shrine, say you've used like 3 of those items in the open world, when you reset at that shrine, your item in the hotbar is automatically refreshed. It is like a huge quality of life thing. Madness effect. I actually can't believe I've not mentioned this until now. This is a huge aspect to this game. Honestly, probably like the main thing that probably differentiates itself from all other games. In this game, you have a madness effect here in the bottom left. It is the feathering disease. This bar builds up every time you die or every time you kill an enemy. Now, this is a double-edged sword that I found can be very strategically used. When you reach the threshold of 90% madness filled, you unlock Madness Descends. Now, this is 2 ways this works. You do more damage and you take more. 15% more specifically. Do 15% more, but incoming damage is amplified by 15%. Now, the real double-edged sword here is you also get more red mercury, which is the currency in this game used to buy skill points, per enemy killed. So you want to keep your madness decently high. But if you die in the open world while your madness is near max or at max, the next time you come back, a demon clone of your build will spawn and try to kill you. Honestly, I wish it was a 1-to-1 clone, like same armor, same everything, just like real red glowing eyes and like a red aura or something cool. But it is still Wuchang's model and everything, just in different clothes. But the coolest part about this is you can use this, even this, strategically in places. Because the demon can only spawn when you're at max madness and when you die in the open world, it doesn't spawn in boss fights. This means that the odds of you dying in the open world is probably due to a stronger type enemy, right? Well, next time you go back there and your demon spawns next to the stronger type enemy, you can bait them to attack each other. As long as you can get one enemy to accidentally hit the other one, they will start fighting each other. And you can create a civil war with your demon clone and the strong enemy who killed you originally.
Shoot you once. Fight each other. Yeah! Look at that! I actually made them fight each other. That's fucking hilarious. See who wins. Alright, my clone demon versus this fucking guy. Oh, he's broken! The very last thing to mention here is quest lines. Quest lines were unbelievably easy to break. Near the end of the game, I ended up looking up, does Wuchang Fallen Feathers have multiple endings? Yes, it has a good, bad, and true ending. I was like, okay, non-spoiler, how do I get the good or true ending? I don't want to spend 35 hours in this game, which is what I did, and get the bad ending, which is what I did. And I realized I was already permanently locked into the bad ending. The reason being is because you need to complete some quest lines up to that point. If you miss any of these quest things, which are very easily missable,
they automatically break off and you can't go back. And I mean really easily breakable. There was a boss I did that I just thought was normal, like go through the levels, la da 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 da. Apparently I took a wrong path somewhere and I did this boss. I came back. If you do that boss, that breaks the quest line. You need to do a specific quest line before you beat this boss. No idea how I'm supposed to know that. Quest lines, honestly, just too easily breakable for me. Especially, the best way to sum this up is it is extremely easy to get the bad ending in this game. And it's not even one of those endings which is like, ooh, is this the bad ending? I feel no, this was the bad ending. It is clear. It's clear enough that in the true ending, there's a character that says, Wuchang, this is your true ending. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the majority of players got the bad ending on their first playthrough. But with that being said, the 30-second roundup for Wuchang Fallen Feathers offers some of the greatest exploration, skill tree management, and minute-to-minute combat I've probably ever seen. Truly edge of your seat in that exploration and in boss fights. Between the combat system that is deeper than it seems and an item system that is fantastic, I just love the items in this game. I'm happy to announce that my first Souls-like was a success. Wuchang Fallen Feathers, 8.6 out of 10. So that's it. My first Souls-like is done. Does this mean I'm entering a new genre? Probably not. I did have a huge amount of fun with this game, but there is absolutely very little chill. You were always on the edge of your seat, whether it's boss fights or combat. Even though it was way easier than I ever anticipated, I honestly probably won't go that deep into Souls-likes. I'll probably play at least another couple. Maybe not right away, but yeah, if I see a Souls-like that I think I could be interested in, I'm down. For now, I already know which game I'm playing next, so you have to stay tuned for that. I'm your host, Beneath the Mask. I hope you enjoy this video. Peace out.
Now they're fighting each other. Who will win? Who will die? And that is called a backstab. For one. What is up? I know what you're thinking. You're only here for the bonus Easter egg soundtrack I put in at the end of every video. But did you also know I have a donation page under Buy Me a Coffee? Donate whatever you want to my channel and I'll put half that back to an environmental charity. So that's that. Enjoy the music. Peace out.